Anybody else? Yes?
At your Philadelphia show, you had a center area where you had live models.
Yes.
If you were an artist who dealt with wearables, is that a service that you set up for the artist? Do they hire their own models, or is that something you arrange for?
We arrange for it and do it.
Is there a cost?
You know, I don't believe that there is. You know, I know it's stupid for me not to know. I don't believe that there is a cost. Fiber wearables for a long time in our shows weren't doing well. And we thought that if we could get them more exposure, that they would do well, that they'd do much better. And that has been the case. Ever since we've had the modeling, things are better. At least the fiber artists are more encouraged because they get more exposure.
Is this something that has to be arranged in advance, or is it done at the show?
I believe it is arranged in advance. If you'd like, you can call our office just to kind of ask about it.
I know that at ODC it was a service that was provided for the wearable artists, and it was a service I didn't know, being a fiber artist, about until I got there.
Right.
You know, here I am setting up my booth. I mean, a mad snatch to get everything all done.
Right.
And
which is another reason to bring second sets of things.
And then Hal's making an announcement over the PA. You can use a model. You know, we're having this runway show. It's like, okay, right.
It's a great opportunity, too, to get some photographs of someone wearing your work that's a professional model. Not like you can stop them, come to my booth, stand in this position type of thing, but certainly you can get those candid shots right on the runway of people wearing your work.
So this is another area that we should...
The other thing that's becoming more popular with applications, I don't know if you do it here with Michigan, but we are requiring booth slides.
Yes.
And it obviously is caught on all over the country, because I noticed our poor photographer is going to be worked ragged 24 hours a day doing booth slides for everybody.
When if I'm applying to your show for the first time, the booth slide I have is I'm going to take something special, but I may not until 2 weeks before the show or 3
Know
weeks
exactly
before
what
the
you're
show.
doing.
So are you looking for a reasonable representation of how I intend to display this?
I'm trusting that the work that you sent me for your application is of the same quality of the work that you are bringing.
But in terms of
And I'm
display-
trusting the fact that you as a professional know not to bring inferior. There's no interest of you to spend $3,000 doing a trade show and bring inferior work to what you applied with.
But in terms of display.
In terms of displays change too.
Okay.
Comparably, we want to know that you know how to do it.
Okay.
And if you don't know how to do it, we're not going to reject you from the show. What we're going to do is give you a phone call and say, this is your outdoor booth. It's a little worn around the edges. We need you to do something better before you get to the show. Will you promise us you'll do that? And if you need any guidance, we're sending you a nice little kit on how to do it. Okay?
Answered my question.
Yeah.
So you're not talking about an outside display, you just want to know a trade show display.
Yes,
Right.
I don't want to see your outside display. I want to see what an indoor booth is going to look like. That's why everybody's getting slides made, obviously, so that when they apply to retail shows, the retail shows probably haven't specified an outdoor booth, and they're able to do that.
Display shot, not no merchandise, like individual pieces.
Oh, I require the display shot plus slides that you're sending me. But the interesting thing is, I request, I think, 5 to 7 slides. If you send me 50, we're going to see all 50. Okay? I want to see as much as you want to show me. So whatever you want to put in that documentation kit, whatever it is with that application, is fine with me. The more information I have about you, the better. Just make sure that you're not putting in information that'll confuse me or make me think that you are schizoid. Yes, if you know what I mean. Sometimes you have a line of work here that you're working on and it's not quite there yet, and then you have this great line that's been selling for a while, and you have this old line that you've quit with, and you say, gosh, well, I should send her everything. Should I send her all 3 lines? The answer is no. Yes.
I haven't done a trade show in a very long time, and I was not in the gift industry at the time. I requested one of your packets last fall and was a little intimidated by a lot of the
The applications, yes. What color is your underwear, by the way?
Are you going to be talking more about the premier artist and the requirements? You know, when I got to the part of how many people are you wholesaling to now, and on and on and on.
Right,
like,
right.
That's why I want to do your show.
The reason why we created the Premier Designer application procedure was to give all of you the opportunity to send more information. We would always put somewhere in the application, feel free to send whatever you like to accompany your application to strengthen it and help document whatever you would like to do. But people didn't seem to know what to do with that or how to do it or what additional things they could send in. So that's why we put together this Premier Designer part of the application, was to specifically spotlight the fact that if you would like to send even a personal letter saying what your commitment to business is and why you feel at this time you need to do a trade show, that's part of the application. And we accept that as part of the application. The Premier Designer status that you get is a special banner in your booth. And trust me, retailers are looking for new product and they will not pass you up. Every buyer in the show will make sure that they see your work if you're a Premier Designer, because that's their job, is to find out what's new at the show. That's any buyer's job when they come to a show, is to find out what's new. Yes?
But the Premier Designer doesn't get tenure points.
No one gets anything really more than probation the first year that they do the show unless they are accepted as a 10-year exhibitor right off. And we only do that for really comfortable things we're really comfortable with and applications we're very comfortable with. Everything else goes under a probationary status or a Premier Designer status. We only have so many slots for Premier Designers, so we do have some people on probationary status without tenure. Does that make sense to you? No?
I'm not sure. I read I like her got the application about as I understand it, the Premier Designer does not get tenure no matter what.
No, the Premier Designer does not get tenure no matter what. It gives them additional. No, they don't get. They're on probation. They may get tenure afterwards. The chances. What happens is, at the next year's show, we can't guarantee a number of open slots. And what we do is we take Premier Designers first into those spaces. It also gives us a chance to see the second year around how you've improved your slides and everything else. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you said the show isn't juried. If your product is good, your business is what you consider to be
Right.
solid.
And I hate your slides. Or
Well,
Barbara
no,
hates your
no,
slides.
no,
You're
no.
still in.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
is there still, like, the waiting list? So, I mean...
Yeah, of course there is still a
If
waiting.
those two criteria are met absolutely, or there's still not enough openings?
No, if there are not enough openings, there's still not enough openings, unfortunately. However, our waiting lists are never very long. We seem to work through them at a pretty good clip. And at the end of the season, even with the Philadelphia show, there aren't more than 100 people left on the waiting list. And I know that that may sound like a lot of people to some, but with some shows, there are thousands of rejections. So, once you get into the waiting list, generally we can work through it pretty readily. And we also have a sabbatical program where we encourage our tenured exhibitors to take off 1 year so that we can bring in new blood as well. Yes?
Now, seeing you're using the slides as like a jury means, are you charging an application fee or a
Never.
jury fee?
No, I don't believe in application fees. And I don't use them for jury purposes. What I use them for is to see if the product is different, just to get an idea that whether the product fits into the show or not.